to our first edition of Survivor Saturday. I'm Scott Brockamp, joined with Julie here today. And if you haven't noticed, it is Real Men Wear Pink time of year. We've got our awesome made and especially designed t-shirts now for sale, of course. But that's not really why we're here today. We're here to talk about the strength and the hope that people like Julie are able to provide to us. Everything that happens to us in life, there's a reason behind it. And, we can either take it and hide in a shell like a turtle, or we can take the strength and hope we gain from it and we can bless somebody else's life. And so, Julie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me.
I appreciate that. And so you are a breast cancer survivor.
I am a breast cancer survivor, 8 years running now.
I mean, that's amazing. That is amazing. So, what went through your mind when you got this horrible diagnosis?
Nothing. That doesn't sound like a really good answer, but I was 31, so I wasn't of the age to get mammograms. It wasn't even on my radar, and I don't have any family history. The way that I found out was I had lost about 20 pounds to look good in a bridesmaid's dress because I was in a wedding that year. And after I did that event, I, by accident, discovered a lump that felt like it shouldn't be there.
Right.
And so I went and got it checked out pretty quickly, and my gynecologist thought that because of my age, it was most likely just a cyst, from too much coffee and Diet Coke and that kind of stuff.
I mean, the good stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, the good stuff. But he was wise enough to send me across the street to Parkwest Breast Center, and within about 48 hours, I had my diagnosis. And when they told me where I was, what stage I was, and how aggressive my cancer was, it was a lot to process. I think I was probably in shock for a couple hours.
I would imagine probably more than just a couple.
Yeah.
Well, in knowing you as I do now, I know you definitely have a fight mentality. We're going to stand up and fight, so for sure. So when you got this diagnosis, one of the things that I think to me is so important is that people need to know where to go and know that there's help available.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know about the American Cancer Society?
I knew about the American Cancer Society the way that most people probably know about them. They know the name, they see the ads, they know it exists. But until you have cancer, you don't really make the connection.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about going to the American Cancer Society after my diagnosis. I was the sole income earner for my household. I was no longer going to be able to work full time, and I was going to be getting some very expensive medical treatments. So I was worried about the basics, like how am I going to pay my rent?
Yeah.
Am I going to get to keep my car?
Yeah.
All that stuff was just really far from my mind. So actually someone from my oncology office told me to go down to the Knoxville American Cancer Society office and see where and how they could help.
Yeah. And so, and I guess for me, I look, because I'm very passionate about this, and luckily, knock on wood at this point, I haven't had to deal with the effects of actual breast cancer in my family and in my life. Statistically, I'm going to. I mean, there's just no doubt. Statistically, it's probably going to occur. And so, but knowing and talking to people of all forms of cancer, it's like that stopgap of when diagnosis hits, and then what do I do and where do I go? Like you, how am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to get groceries? How am I going to get here? How am I going to get gas? And all these things. And so knowing what I know, that's one of the biggest sources that the American Cancer Society does, is they help fill those gaps. Yeah. They take you by it, well, I would say by the hand, but they wrap you up in hugs and they take you through the process of what it is that you need to know and to try to help you through that process as well. So, there's no way anybody can understand what that's like, except for obviously somebody else who has dealt with that battle. But through all of this, what is, if there was two things that you would want to leave with anybody from this, from your experience, what would they be?
Two things I would say is, first and foremost, trust your body. Pay attention to your body. If you find something that doesn't seem quite right, seems a little bit off, I think that as women, we tend to not trust our own judgment. And I went through that. Even going through the process of making the appointment to go get it checked out, I hung up and I almost called back and canceled. So trust your body, because you just never know. And I'm glad I did that, because I was smart or dumb enough to ask the question of, hey, if I hadn't come and gotten this check and we found this out and I waited 6 months, which I was really busy, I had a life, I had a job, what would have happened? And they said, well, based on where your cancer is measuring out, in 6 more months, you would have been in a very different stage and there wouldn't have been much we could do for you. So that was really eye-opening to hear that and be validated. The second thing would be, look for and ask for help. I'll be the first to admit that I have a hard time asking for help, probably when I need it most.
Right.
And the best thing I learned from my experience was the opportunity that you give other people to show how awesome they are and their grace. Because people do want to help.
They do.
Yeah,
you're right. And and I think you really hit one of the big keys and that is early diagnosis. And the sooner that you're able to identify any types of symptoms, whether it's breast cancer or any form of cancer, whether it's a lymphoma type of thing with lumps, etc. Early diagnosis of that is key in the success.
Absolutely.
And so, I know that around my household, my wife knows I scream it from the rooftops. I don't care what the insurance says. You need to just get it done.
that's right.
And so, because we know that is one of the main things about breast cancer in general is early diagnosis. So leave everybody with one thing here in the wonderful world of East Tennessee. What do you think in forms of support? Obviously, donations are great because they help fund our local American Cancer Society. By the way, I don't know, a lot of people don't understand that this money that we raise through this campaign, it stays here.
That's
So
awesome.
so it's helping people who live here in our communities fight the fight, and we're standing arm in arm with them through this. But one thing, what would it be? What would be your biggest expression of hope?
My biggest expression of hope is, I think that there's life after cancer. There's lots of really good life after cancer. Early detection, aggressively pursuing your options and your resources, and there is no reason why you can't have an amazing life, with or after getting that diagnosis.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know last year you shared an amazing, heart-touching story last year at this time when we had the chamber here, and I know that to me it touches my heart, because like you said, like myself, I want to give back, and we as a company want to give back, and there's only really so many things and ways that we can do that, and this is something I think that we all know that affects everybody. And so being able to, it's really easy when we ask our employees to wear pink. They're like, hey, great, I've got folks now, hey, where are our shirts at? So thank you again, because your hope and your strength, and like you said exactly, there's life. There is life. And so thank you guys for tuning in. Please feel free to share Julie's story. And share this and just let everybody know that no matter what, we fight together. This is not a lone battle, and there is help available. If you're dealing with a diagnosis right now, reach out to your local American Cancer Society because they are there to help and they do an amazing job. So, anyway, again, Julie, thank you so much again. I just love you so much anyways. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you guys and your team for all the hard work you do. It means a lot. And I'll tell you that, you know, the pink stuff and the pink t-shirts didn't mean much to me before my diagnosis because I was a tomboy and I hated pink. So it was irony that I got diagnosed with the one disease where everything is pink, but I've made peace with my pink. And when I see people doing this kind of work now, it makes a difference.
It does. It does. Well, thank you, and y'all can make a difference as well. Feel free to go to scottwearspink.com. It's our American Cancer Society donation page for our campaign that we'll be wrapping up here on October 31st. So we've got huge goals. We're stretching for $40,000 this year. That's our goal, and so we need all the help we can get. So pennies, dollars, dimes, doesn't matter. Anything is a big help. So, but you know, this lets people know really when we start asking people for donations, this is what it's about.